welcome back to an unboxing video brought to you by Bearded Kaiju's Unboxing Reviews. If you guys like the channel, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, share with anybody you think would like the content of this channel. Also hit that bell notification so you're notified right away when videos drop like this one. Yeah, we're back for another unboxing and review, and today I'm really excited for this one because this one is completely different. This was a shot in the dark. I didn't know what to expect out of this particular figure, and when I finally got it, I was blown back by the sheer size of this because I didn't, like I said, didn't know what to expect. I knew nothing about this line, nothing about this figure. I didn't even see any of the announcements or release information about this particular figure. And so I just so happened to go shopping on a third person market, kind of thing. And aka Bayi. And was just shopping and came across this. I was like, wow, that looks pretty interesting. And not for a lot of money either. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take the dive and bite the bullet, and I'm going to see what this figure is all about, honestly. And I can say that this is definitely a hit for me. Pleasantly drawn back and excited for this particular figure because, like I said, I didn't know anything about it and got it in hand, and a very surprised, blown back, just awesome so far. And I cannot wait to show you guys and talk about this figure because this is something I think just went under the radar and not a lot of people know about this thing, and I'm excited to show you. So without further ado, let's get into today's unboxing. Alright guys, as you can see, you cannot see my face because this box is tremendous, but I needed to show it off because you know me, I love my boxes. I love box art. I love showing off the box because just as much detail and time goes into the figure, it also goes into the box. So got to show off that and praise, the box designers and the company for, putting out something that is eye-catching and stuff. And if it catches my eye, it's going to catch others. So, but yeah, without further ado, we are talking about the PLEX G-saurus Godzilla -1 figure. And like I stated, I didn't know nothing about this figure. I went into this completely blind, and I was very curious on what this figure was going to bring, honestly. And like I said, I was shopping one day on Bayi and it came across it, and I was like, you know what, that looks very interesting, very different, and I gave it a shot. And when it came, I did not expect how big this thing was. This caught me way off guard. It really did. I thought this was like a normal size figure, maybe even normal size SOFUBI, maybe 7 to 9 inches, like nothing too crazy, but that's what I expected. And I got way more than that, and this huge box came with it. So, and I was wondering, God, why is my shipping so much on this package? Well, here you go. This is why, man. Oh, this package is huge. But yeah, let's talk about the box a little bit. As you can see, a picture of the figure on top with another little picture inside of it of another head. So it is indicating that there are swappable heads for this figure, which is really awesome. I love extras like that. We've gotten stuff like that in the past from, Marmot and Mondo and all these SOFUBI companies, and I love that kind of aspect to it. So, so as we turn the box on the side, you get a picture of the Godzilla -1 logo. You get the Japanese lettering of the company, G-saurus and Godzilla -1. And then as we rotate around to the back, you get an actual picture of the figure in both poses, actually. And we will get into that later on. But really cool to know this and find this out when I first got it, that it has that opportunity and design. So I'm really excited to get into this and show you guys. But yeah, this is the G-saurus Godzilla -1 figure from PLEX. And I am really excited about this. I love the box. I love that it shows the figure in color and all in its glory, you know, and I love boxes like that instead of plain Jane type stuff. So, and without further ado, let's get into the figure because I want to show you guys because I think you're going to be excited like I'm excited. So let's go. All right, and here it is. This is the Godzilla G-saurus from PLEX. Like I said, this thing is just crazy. It really is. I absolutely love it. Like just looking at this thing more and more, I am just falling in love with it. It is so different than what I'm used to. Because you know I collect realistic, screen accurate, you know X plus stuff. I collect SOFUBI and the cartoony stuff. This is like a combo almost of them together, but not quite. This is probably more SOFUBI style because it is kind of more cartoonish. The paint job isn't, you know, screen accurate. They don't go in a whole bunch of details about the paint job and even the sculpt. It goes into details, but not as crisp as, say, a screen accurate like X Plus kind of figure does. But like the sheer size and the overall look is teetering between the two, which is really unique, I think. For me personally, this is very different. But if I had to categorize it, I would probably categorize it as a SOFUBI, just because it kind of hits the characteristics of a SOFUBI more than like an X Plus or realistic. But it's kind of along the lines of that. It kind of creeps towards the realistic at the same time. So, but yeah, let's get a 360 of this guy because this is absolutely crazy. Let's see if I can get out of the frame. And just this figure is just so cool. I just love it. And as I turn it, you're going to see his dorsal plates. And hopefully you can see that, but that is translucent dorsal plates. Just, it's so cool. You can kind of see like a double mold with the dorsals where you can see kind of the inner layer with the outer layer. It's really neat. The blue is so vibrant. I mean, it's literally what the camera is capturing right now. That's how blue it is, which I just absolutely love because, I mean, in the movie, that's what he had. So I love it. It's so great. And the colors are so vibrant. And oh man, I love it. It's really, really unique. Got a huge tail on him, as you can see, kind of wraps, which is, you know, good for the shelves. You know, we don't want shelf hogs, but you know, he had a pretty decently sized tail. And this is no different, honestly. Not as big as some of the other Godzilla iterations, but he can stand with the best of them, honestly. So really, really cool, really unique. Just the sculpt is really well done. Like I said, more of the SOFUBI type because a lot of rounded edges, you know, nothing really too jagged. It's a little bit softer in a lot of the sculpt and the skin color and stuff. So really, really unique. Even the eyes and the face are really cool. I mean, you can see that eye. They even put the red in it to really kind of get that real mean look. They even got the red in the gums of his mouth. Just really cool, really neat details that they put into this thing for a SOFUBI, which I do appreciate for sure. So, and this thing is so cool because, like I said, it's kind of a teetering between the two, but I love that with SOFUBI you get some articulations. You know, you're gonna get the arms to move, maybe the legs to move, maybe even the tail, maybe even the head. This thing actually has more than that, which is really, really cool and unique. This has where you can move the legs back and forth, so you have that movement for both. And then you also have arm movement. So you're gonna go up and down, and then you're gonna have forearm, and then you're gonna have hands. So a lot of movement there, which is great. And you have that in both arms, which is really, really cool. Then you have the head, which obviously you can move back and forth. So that's awesome. And then we go down to the tail, and you have the base of the tail that moves the whole thing. And then you have the last bit of the tail, the tip of the tail kind of thing, where that moves also. So you can kind of get a lot of movement in this particular figure. And as you can see, this figure can stand by himself. You know, you don't need anything. You don't need any supports or anything like that. But they also do include a tail stand, which you can see the logo is in there for the G-saurus, which is really cool. It is more of a rounded tail stand, so it kind of sits right in there and dips, which is cool. You know, it gives you the option. You don't have to use it in any way. It's just to get that kind of look. If you want that kind of look, you know, you can have it. You know, you can put it in there and, you know, have them kind of more of a sitting forward kind of pose if you want. You can do that. But the great thing about this particular figure is that because it is meant to have like two different looks to it, it helps because you can move the legs back, you can move the tail down, and you actually don't even need the tail stand. So it's cool that you have that option. If you want it, you can have it. And if you don't want it, you don't need it, honestly. It is just, I think they just put in there just because to give you the options. Because, like I said, there are two versions to this particular figure. There is the version that you're seeing now with just his mouth kind of more closed. And then there's the other version. And I'll show you that right now. So all you do is just pop the head right off. Really, really great. It's just, you know, like a phalange type look to it. And you see the hole, and you grab your other head and you pop it right in. Effortless, you know. And there you go. Now you have a open mouth Godzilla that looks really cool. They even added the blue into the mouth, which just gives it a lot more. You know, this is like his atomic version. As we saw in the movie, such an epic, epic scene in that movie. But yeah, the blue is translucent also in the mouth, and I just absolutely love it. So now with this particular head, you can actually change up the pose, make it more like he's roaring, you know, into the sky, you know, where he's not looking down as a normal version. He's, you know, maybe he uses atomic breath and then he's roaring up into the sky. So they give you two different versions that you can use for this figure, which is very interesting and very cool. Just makes it able to do more things with the figure, and I absolutely love that. So, I mean, you can pose the arms different ways, which is great. You know, with the pose, if you want, you know, more of a, you know, roaring up kind of look, or if you just want more of a mellow kind of normal arms to the sides kind of look with his head more shut. So I love the options. I love that. It's just, I don't know what about this figure, but this figure is so fun and so different. Like I said, there's a lot of articulation that goes along with this guy, and it's so cool. And it's kind of it's a PVC material, so it's that harder soft vinyl that you can get. You can still heat it up and it'll still do that thing as normal vinyl will do, but when it cools, it's just a lot harder than your typical normal soft vinyl. So this is kind of the stuff that I know like Spiral Studios uses for their figures. It's just a little bit sturdier when it's cold, and it won't morph as easily as, say, like X Plus stuff, because when you get a lot of heat with X Plus, it will start warping or drooping and stuff, and it doesn't sustain that that look or that structure. And I think the PVC is a lot stronger. It can withstand more temperatures, and you know, it's better for like heavier figures, maybe more that have, you know, tentacles or wings or just big arms, whatever. It just can handle that kind of weight and that look a lot better. And that's what this is made out of. This is made out of the PVC soft vinyl, so it's very sturdy, very stiff, which is still great because I don't have to worry about it morphing in any way if the temperatures get up hot or anything. So just a super unique figure. Like I said, he's just, it teeters the boundary, but it's just so cool. I just cannot get over how cool this figure is. It's really awesome. So really happy with this. Shot in the dark for me. I was like, you know what? I'm going to grab this. It was a good deal. And, you know, I was like, whatever, we're going to go with it, and we're going to see what we're going to get. And pleasantly surprised. Now I am on the hunt for the other release in this particular line. So I believe before this guy actually came out, they released their first figure in this line for the G-saurus, and that was the Shin Godzilla. So very similar to this, has two different versions or poses. It has a normal mouth version and a open mouth version. Now it's the red version. It's not the awakening version with the purple. It's just the straight up red and black, your normal. But it looks unique, and getting this, I was like, you know what? I have to find that one now, because I love this line. This line is so cool to me already, and I had to try this because -1 is getting to be one of my very favorite Godzilla designs of all time. I think I've stated this before, even after the -1 movie and getting the X Plus figure, like this is like my top 3 designs I think of all time now, and I'm just kind of on the hunt for a lot of Godzilla -1 merchandise, and this was a hit for me. This was definitely a hit, and I'm really happy for it. And this is a big guy. This is not your typical 7, 8, 9-inch SOFUBI figure. This is a big guy. With the roaring head, it is 32 centimeters, so it's a big guy. So it can rival the 30 centimeter X Plus line. And honestly, a great segue to that is, let me show you a comparison with the X Plus -1. All right, I'm gonna stick my head in between both of these guys, and you guys can see just how close they are. So this is exactly how they're supposed to be, with feet and feet. I'm trying to line up the feet here. And as you can see, the G-saurus is just a hair bigger, just because his mouth and his neck is rearing up. He has the height on him just barely. Even if you put the tail in for the G-saurus, actually that is about the same height. And can be a little bit taller actually if I position it just right. It'll get even more height on him. But yeah, it fits into like the 30 centimeter figure range for X Plus. So this is a good comparison of the two. Just super cool. I love the blue on both of them. It's just, it pops on them, and I just love it, because we need a little bit of breaking up of the colors of the darks, you know, the blacks and the grays and the browns and everything. So it's cool to get some color on some of these Godzilla figures. So as I've said in the past, so yeah, there's your comparison of a realistic, screen accurate Godzilla and more of a SOFUBI type Godzilla from -1. So really awesome. Two big chunguses for sure, and I love it. All right, guys. Yeah, just a great figure. I absolutely love it. Fell in love with it, and I cannot say enough about it. So if you are on the hunt or curious about this, or like what you see in the video, go try and hunt one down. I know they're on a bunch of online retail stores like Big Bad Toy Store, Awesome Collector, Hobby Search, Hobby Link Japan, a lot of that stuff. So all you gotta do is just search the name, and you should be able to find one. So these released earlier this year, probably within the last month, maybe even 2 months. Honestly, there's different scheduled dates, you know, per online retailer. So, but it was this year, and I believe the Shin was the previous year, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm definitely on the hunt for that now. Love it. It's just so cool. You know, even on the head of -1 on the side, you should be able to tell that even his scar is there, which I absolutely love, because that is it's such a moment in the film that, you know, they just need to put it in there. So you see that lighter kind of a tan color by his cheek. you know, where he basically blew up his cheek and eye. You know, that wound is there, and I love that about the little details for this kind of stuff, or even for SOFUBI. Like, I want those little details on SOFUBI even. So I'm glad they did that. They did lighten up the stomach and the chest a little bit to get maybe some of the damage and scarring. Didn't go too crazy in the detail of that in particular, which I think I would have liked a little bit more. But overall, it is great for what it is and what they're portraying it as a SOFUBI. It's great. So, yeah, but enough rambling for me. All right, let's do the Bearded Kaiju score and see what I score this. So I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I just absolutely love this thing. It's so cool. Like I said, it blew my mind, blew my expectations out of the water. Didn't know what I was expecting, and I loved it. Really, really did. So check out the G-saurus Godzilla -1, or even if you have the Shin Godzilla G-saurus. Yeah, you have some great figures, and I'm on the hunt for my own Shin as we speak. So, but yeah, enough yapping for me. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this unboxing and review. Always remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Also a reminder, we're getting really close to the 1,000 subscriber mark. I am doing my next giveaway. I am giving away a free X Plus Godzilla Cybot. It is the Rick edition. And then I am giving away some Godzilla canvas prints, along with some articulated Godzilla custom like beam effects that was donated to the show by a friend and fan of the show, Sergio Trejo. He has his own group on Facebook, Godzilla Custom Effects. I will leave a link in the description of the video, so go check out his page, and maybe he can make something for you guys that hasn't been made in the articulation figures, you know, some kind of beams for any one of your kaiju and stuff. Hit him up. So, and thank you, Sergio, for the donation. But yeah, great figure. Thanks for watching, everybody. And also, if you want more Godzilla and kaiju goodness, watch my ugly mug over at MWA Monsters with Attitude. Have a lot of cool content over there with some good friends of mine. Just have a lot of fun. Everybody is welcome, and it's great. So check me out over there as well. So with that, I am out of here. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, later.